Dr. Michael Mosley was well known and loved as a broadcaster who suggested we could do perhaps just one thing to improve our health and our lives. It was such a shock to all of us when he tragically died when on holiday in Greece with his wife last summer, having suffered from what was most likely heat exhaustion. Today, his wife Claire has invited me here to their home to talk about all the brilliant work that Michael did, which will be captured in a final programme to celebrate his life. I suppose the first question, Claire, is how are you doing? How are the children doing? You must still be processing what's happened to Michael.
Yes, I think we are, and it's just, as they say, that it's kind of one day at a time, and it can hit you, you know, suddenly like pain, and then settles, and actually your body's quite kind to you as well, because actually we found that, you know, we were, after Michael died, we were able to laugh and tell silly jokes as well, but we'll miss him, and, you know.
I mean, he was a big part of the One shows. People couldn't believe such a thing had happened, but people felt like they knew Michael. What was he like, though, when he was at home as a husband?
He was very shy, and a lot of people didn't recognise that, because he's quite, you know, enthusiastic about what he's doing, and he was just kind and thoughtful. He absolutely loved his work, and whatever he did, he checked it out before he put it out there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the reasons people really trusted him.
They did. There were so many things. What were the things that he was most proud of?
I think reversing his own diabetes. He was a chocoholic. He asked me to hide the chocolate, and I'm still finding chocolate in the broom cupboard, in weird places. And he said he didn't want to go onto medication until he had tried other things. One of the sort of really big things I think he was really proud of was to help people lose weight and reverse their diabetes, which nobody thought was possible.
Your glucose became normal again.
I'm very, very pleased.
Michael as a human guinea pig. He would research things in depth on himself before presenting them to people. There must have been things, Claire, along the way that you thought, oh, Michael, please don't do that.
Plenty. Things like bungee jumping. It was hilarious because he jumped off shrieking, and then he realised he was having to go back up again.
And was he never scared doing things like
Oh, he was scared. So things like the really ice cold water immersion. You know, you always have to do that with parameters.
Would he sometimes drag you all as a family into these mad ideas that he wanted to test out?
When the children were young, we would quite often come home and find that we were being asked to eat snake for supper, you know, that sort of thing. We had a pet leech.
I remember the leeches, but I mean to have a pet leech.
Yeah, I definitely feel something going on there.
And then, of course, came the podcast. Just one thing feels like something that's achievable. What do you think were some of the most successful suggestions?
Things like standing on one foot. I mean, we used to do it together and we were bashing into each other. Who'd have ever guessed that that had some health benefit?
And in the first episode of the television version, I mean, he's really dragged you into that, hasn't he? You're drawing each other with hilarious results.
You've just become one big pair of glasses at the moment.
Yeah.
What was he trying to sort of prove with that?
It's about doing new things, keeps your brain going. I actually quite like painting and drawing, so I was putting everything into it.
You were the SWAT in
I
the
was
situation.
the SWAT, embarrassingly. I was also doing cold showers. I just kind of got slightly out of the habit of it, and the last couple of days I went back to it, and it does make you feel good. It makes you feel zingy. I'm so proud of what he's done. I had so many lovely letters saying how important it was to them, what he'd been doing, and some of them made me cry. They were just amazing.
I'm sure you've sat down with the children and talked through how you would like Michael to be remembered. What are your thoughts about his legacy?
One of the things that we have the Michael Mosley Memorial Fund, and that's a fellowship to fund a PhD student to research into diabetes and metabolic health, because there's so much needed to be done in that area.
It's such a brilliant way to carry on his fantastic work. Has any of the, the one thing that's helped you in the last few months?
Counting your blessings. And it sounds trite, but actually that really did resonate for me, that it's a terrible thing that's happened. But we had 40 years together and we're very lucky.
Thank you so much for speaking so openly, and we can all help you to help Michael's memory live on, I think.
I think he would really be proud of that. Thank you.